Good morning and welcome to today's revision session on digestive system. So this video is for grade 11 general students of Al Zaydia Boys School. And I'm Emmanuel Regan Paul, a teacher from Al Zaydia Boys School. Let's start up, guys. Okay, so uh, for the exam, for the term 3 exam, you have two chapters. One is lesson digestive system, and the second lesson will be endocrine system. So today we are going to talk about digestive system and nutrition. All right. Now I want you to turn to page number 28 in your textbook. Okay, guys. So please turn to page number 28. Page number 28. So the first question is going to be on the functions of digestive system. Functions of digestive system. So let's see. So what are the three major functions of digestive system? The function of digestive system is to ingest food. Ingest means taking in food, breaking it down. That means breaking the food down and eliminating what cannot be digested. See, these are the three functions of digestive system. One is to ingest, that means to take in food. Number two, to break it down, that means digestion, so to break down food. And number three, to eliminate it, that means to remove the unnecessary or unwanted things that are not digested. So these are the three main functions of digestive system. So what question you can expect from this, or how you can expect a question? See, I'm telling you, you will not get the same question, okay, but you may get questions similar to it. I want you to study this. So what are the, see, there's a question here, which of the following is not one of the three main functions of digestive system? So which is not? See, ingesting food is a function, breaking down is a function, eliminating is a function. So which is not the function? Transporting oxygen to the cell. This is your answer, because this is not the function of digestive system. Is it clear? So this is one question. So it's going to be easy. So you need to study only three functions: ingestion, breaking down, and to eliminate the food. Okay, now let's move on to the second one. The second thing here. So this is from page number 28. Okay, again, you have another question from page number 28, and they give you this picture as well. Page number 28. So let's see. So try to learn the parts of this, first of all. See here, you know this. These are the teeth. Okay, teeth. That's number one. Number two, you have a tongue. Okay, so this is tongue. And on the side, near the ears and under the tongue, okay, you will have a structure which is called the salivary glands. Salivary glands. And then number four, pharynx. Pharynx or the throat. Okay, somewhere near the throat, pharynx. And there is a tube which connects the mouth to the stomach. And this tube is called as esophagus. So what you should do? First, you have to learn the parts of this picture. Teeth, tongue, salivary glands, pharynx, and esophagus. Okay, now let's also read what is below the picture. It's important. Huh? See, mechanical digestion, chemical digestion. Okay, let's see. So there are two types of digestion. So digestion, if you see, there are two types. One is called mechanical digestion. What is digestion? Breaking down of food. So one is called mechanical digestion. And the second type of digestion is called as chemical digestion. These are the two types of digestion. One is mechanical digestion and the second one is chemical digestion. So what happens in mechanical digestion? So mechanical digestion involves two things, you see, chewing food and action of smooth muscles in the stomach. So remember these two keywords. Mechanical digestion, it involves chewing the food. That means you're chewing it with the help of teeth. You're breaking the food with the help of teeth. And the food also passes through these tubes. How they pass through the tubes? They pass by the action of smooth muscles. So these two are for mechanical digestion. Then you may think, what is chemical digestion? So this is the second type of digestion, which is called as chemical digestion. Here you go. So this is breakdown of food with the help of chemical substances called enzymes. Okay, remember, there are some chemical substances found inside the digestive system and they are called as enzymes. So what are enzymes? Enzymes are proteins. What do? They speed up the chemical reaction. So don't forget. So what is chemical digestion? Chemical digestion is a digestion, okay, which involves the breakdown of large molecules with the help of enzymes. So if you find the word enzyme, you should remember that it is connected to chemical digestion. Okay, chemical digestion. And what are enzymes? Enzymes are proteins that speed up the reaction, the chemical reactions. Okay. Now let's look at one of the enzyme that you can find in the saliva. The saliva is the liquid found inside the mouth, and this liquid will contain an enzyme called amylase. So in your textbook, you have to study three enzymes. One is amylase. Number two will be pepsin, and number three will be lipase. Okay. In this amylase, you can find amylase in the saliva. Okay, amylase will be in the saliva. Pepsin, you can find pepsin in the stomach. And lipase, you will find it in the small intestine. So these are the three enzymes. All right. So let's see here. So amylase is an enzyme in the saliva. So let's read it here. Mechanical digestion starts in the mouth. Yes, of course, because you are chewing in the mouth. Secretion of salivary glands keeps the food moist and begins a process of chemical digestion. My dear, this you need to be very careful with this term, because this is going to be important. Secretions from the salivary gland. So salivary gland secretes what? Amylase is an enzyme. Keeps the food moist and begins the process of chemical digestion. Okay, so where does chemical digestion begin? Chemical digestion begins in the mouth. Don't forget. Okay, and the food moves through the pharynx to the esophagus. Okay, so these are the details that you need to study in page number 28. Page number 28. Okay, so let's do some questions on it. Let's see whether you can say. Again, I'm saying it is not the same question that you're going to get, but we can like understand the concepts by doing these pictures, by doing these questions. I'm sorry. So let's see. Which of the following defines mechanical digestion? We know that mechanical digestion means chewing, and muscle action. You see, action of muscles. I'll make it little, yes, here. Chewing the food and action of smooth muscles. So let's see. Mechanical digestion, what do you have? Yes, you have your chewing the food. So this is the answer. So where does the mechanical digestion begin? Teeth. Teeth is inside the mouth. So mouth. Chemical digestion involves which of the following? Now they're asking about chemical digestion. Chemical digestion is because of enzymes. So chemical digestion involves, yes, breakdown of enzymes. Breakdown by enzymes. Okay. What are enzymes? As we know, enzymes are proteins that speed up chemical reactions. And where does chemical digestion begin? As I told you, it begins in the mouth because saliva is present inside the mouth. Yeah. So now let's move on to the next. There are some more questions as well. Okay. Now, what is the function of amylase. Okay, let's say. So what does amylase do? Amylase will convert starch to sugars. So keep this in mind. So amylase is an enzyme that is found inside or in the mouth. That means in the saliva. And what does amylase do? It will convert the starch into sugars. So the answer is starch to sugars. What does where the pepsin do? Pepsin will act on proteins. Proteins. Proteins are converted to like pepsin, you see. Pepsin will break down proteins to another peptides, polypeptides. Okay, now we can just understand like amino acids in a simple term. So proteins to amino acid with the help of an enzyme called pepsin. So what does a pepsin do? Pepsin will break down proteins. Pepsin breaks down proteins. Yeah, next. So the secretion from which structure is helpful to keep the food moist and begins chemical digestion? Very important question. You can see here in the picture. You see? Secretion from the salivary glands keep the food moist and begin the process of chemical digestion. So secretions from salivary glands. So let's go here. So secretions from salivary glands. So that's the answer. So mechanical breakdown of food in the mouth is primarily performed by mechanical digestion. So it's the teeth. Which of the following is a result of mechanical digestion? The churning of food into chyme by a stomach muscle. Okay, so this is the answer. So this is question number 2 to 11. Okay, I hope you are clear with this. Now let's move on to the third concept, esophagus. So there is a question. There will be questions on this as well. So this is from page number 29 in your textbook. Page number 29. You can open your textbook to page number 29. And here the main key concept is about peristalsis. Peristalsis. So what is peristalsis? You see the word? Yes, the wall of the esophagus is lined with smooth muscles that contract rhythmically to move the food through the digestive system in a process called peristalsis. You see? So there is esophagus. So let's say this is esophagus, and in the esophagus, see, esophagus is a tube, and inside the esophagus, you will find smooth muscles. See, I'm drawing the smooth muscles now. So what will happen? This will contract rhythmically to move the food through the digestive tract, which means through the esophagus. This wave-like, see this wave-like rhythmic, look at the keywords, huh? This wave-like rhythmic movement of food through the digestive tract is called as peristalsis. Now, why it is useful? This is a very, very important point. You see, even if a person is upside down, food would still move towards the stomach. The food will never come back. It will not come back. Okay. Even if the person is upside down, the food will still move to the stomach. One direction. It goes only in one direction. This is because of peristalsis. Okay. This is because of peristalsis. A very important question that you need to learn here. So in this page, you need to study this, okay? Peristalsis and its function. So what is the tube that connects the pharynx to the stomach? The tube is called esophagus. See, rhythmic wave-like contractions. This is called as peristalsis. You know that? It's called peristalsis. See, how does the food move from the stomach, from the mouth to the stomach, even if a person is upside down? Even when a person is upside down, so it's because of this. The smooth muscle in the esophagus contract rhythmically in a process called peristalsis. So this will make the food to move only in one direction. Okay. All right. So the remaining question you can do it. So if a person were to swallow, this is also peristalsis. Explain the relationship between peristalsis and food movement in esophagus. You see, peristalsis stops food entering the stomach. Peristalsis is voluntary. Peristalsis uses the smooth muscle to push the food forward. Okay, so this is the answer. All right, now let's move on to the next question. The next question is also from page number 29. So this is also from page number 29. I want you to move on to page number 29. And in this page, yes, this question is going to be on pepsin. Okay, it will be on pepsin. So what is pepsin? We know that pepsin is a enzyme. It's an enzyme. This enzyme is found in the stomach. Where it is found? This enzyme is found in the stomach. For this pepsin to work best, if it needs to work well, it needs a pH, okay, of around 2. pH of around 2. Remember this. This is again important. For this pepsin to work, it needs a pH of 2. What is pH 2? pH 2 is an acidic pH. So it needs acidic pH. What do? They help, the pepsin help in a process of chemical digestion of proteins. Okay, they are for digesting proteins. All right, so this is about pepsin, which is found in the stomach. So again, I repeat, pepsin is an enzyme which is found in the stomach. It works at a pH of 2, pH of 2, that is an acidic pH. Okay, it works best there. And what is the function? It is useful for converting or for breaking down proteins. That's better. It's useful for chemical digestion of proteins. Okay, so let's see some of the question here. Here you go. The stomach environment is highly acidic. Which pH level? So we know that it's 2. Which enzyme in the stomach? Stomach means you know that it should know that it's pepsin. Okay, so stomach enzyme. Okay, which prevents the stomach? Which prevents the stomach from digesting its own protein-rich wall? Okay, this is another one. So what happens here? Let's go back and see. There is one more point here which I forgot. You see, the cells in the lining of the stomach secrete mucus to help prevent damage from pepsin. You see, mucus. So inside the stomach, you can find mucus, and this mucus helps to prevent damage from pepsin. So we'll see that also here. So you can say here, yeah. What is the role of mucus in the stomach? Protecting against acid and pepsin. Okay, protecting against acid and pepsin. Okay, now next, one more thing. 19, you see. What prevents the stomach from digesting its own protein-rich wall? The lining of mucus. Lining of mucus. So, identify the enzyme that is correctly matched with the nutrient it breaks down. So, I told you, amylase. Amylase will break down starch. So, don't forget. Amylase is for starch. Pepsin is an enzyme, and that will break down proteins. And lipase is an enzyme which would break down fats or lipids. So which is correct here? See, amylase protein. So this is not correct. Pepsin protein. Yes, this is the answer. Pepsin will break down proteins. Okay. So study all this. It's important. Okay. Now let's move on to the next part of it. So now I want you to turn to page number 31. So this question is going to be from page number 31. So this question will be on the gallstones. You see, the gallstones can obstruct the flow of bile from the gallbladder. Okay, so remember, and gallstones can be removed by surgery. So these are gallstones. So where are they found? Let's see. Before that, in your digestive system, you will find liver. Okay. So what does the liver do? The liver produces bile. The liver produces bile. And the gallbladder, yes, you see, the gallbladder stores bile. These 2 points you first understand. Okay. So what does the liver do? Liver produces bile. So I'll write here, liver produces bile. And the gallbladder stores excess bile. So remember, these two terms. Liver produces bile, gallbladder stores excess bile. So that's what's given here. So the liver produces bile and the gallbladder stores excess bile. And what happens is sometimes you can find gallstones produced. Okay, and this gallstone will block. See, it will block the flow of bile. So then what will happen? Now, if you want to know what will happen, first of all, what is the function of bile? What is the function of bile? Bile helps in a process. It helps in breaking down fats. Okay. It helps in breaking down fats. Now see, so what will happen? If the gallstones are there, the bile will not be secreted and bile cannot do its function. Bile cannot do the function, so it cannot break down the fats. So now let's see what are the questions on it. See, which gland, accessory organ, is responsible for producing bile? We know that it's liver. What is the primary function of bile? It helps to break down the fats. Where is excess bile stored? It's stored in the gallbladder. Again, I'm saying you not the exact question. So you learn the concepts, learn everything. Learn the key points I gave you in the class. That's important. Okay, 25. What is the role of liver and gallbladder? Liver produces bile, gallbladder stores it. An obstruction in the bile duct would most directly interfere with the digestion of. What will happen if the bile duct is closed? So the bile will not be released. So what will happen? The fat cannot be digested. We know that. See, bile helps in fats digestion. So this will affect the fat digestion. When cholesterol crystals build up, which organ function is most directly affected? When the cholesterol crystal build up, that means gallstones build up, what will happen is the gallbladder will be affected by the formation of gallstones. Suggest a meal component that is easy to digest for someone with no bile juice. Let's say, for example, a person is not releasing bile juice. What they should not take? They should not take meal which is rich in fat. So you should say that you should give them low fat meal. Low fat meal because fat cannot be digested. If a person consumes large amount of fat, which accessory organ must work hard? So you know that it's liver because that secretes bile. A patient complains of bloating, indigestion after eating fatty foods. You see, too much. When he takes fatty food, he's having problem with bloating and indigestion. The doctor suspects that bile is not reaching the small intestine. Which organ is most likely not functioning properly? So it is what not reaching properly. So which is not functioning properly? So it should be the gallbladder. Okay, not functioning properly. Yes. So now let's move on to the next one. The next question is from page number, this is also from page number 31. Page number 31. And in this, you need to talk about villi. Okay, so you have this picture. First of all, learn all the parts, okay, that's there in this picture. Villi or the villus, you see? So see here. So what is this? The villus is a finger-like projections. This is called the villus. It's a finger-like a finger, you see? And what is inside? You can see it is surrounded by a structure. See the red structure. Remember this, the red tubes, okay, all over. This is capillary network. Capillary network. And inside you can find the green tube. This green vessel is called the lymphatic vessel. Lymphatic vessel. The red one here is called the capillary network. The green is the lymphatic vessel. And there are two types of blood vessels. The red blood vessels are called arteries and the blue blood vessels are called the veins. So learn this. The blue one is a vein, the red is an artery, and this network, the red network is called the capillary network. This full structure is the villus. This is important, villus. And the green structure is the lymphatic vessel. These two are very important. Villus and... So what do they say? A villus is a finger-like extension that is found in the lining of the small intestine. The nutrient means the digested food, diffuse into the capillaries in the villi and reach the body cells by means of circulating blood. So keep this. Nutrients, where do they go? They diffuse into the capillaries, this area. They diffuse into the capillary and they move in the blood, in the circulating blood. Okay. So important, read this all because questions will be from there. So let's say, so you have the small intestine contains finger-like structures called the villi. The villi shown in figure 6 increase the surface area, okay, giving the small intestine approximately the same surface area as a tennis court. Okay, so you must learn this. It increases the surface area. So there is more area, okay, because of the villi. All right. So this is about villus. Now let's move on with the question. See how the structure of villus related to the function. Its capillary network allows nutrient diffusion. Nutrient absorbed by the villi enter the bloodstream. So how do they enter the bloodstream? Through the capillaries. Important, about capillaries, very important. Then, okay, which structure in the small intestine increase the surface area through the finger legs? So it is the villi. All right. Now let's move on to the to page number 32. So this details are given in page number 32. Page number 32. Yes, this is a sure question. You will definitely get this question on page number 34. You see here, this is the one. In the large intestine, okay, the large intestine is the end portion of the digestive tract. They contain some beneficial bacteria. These bacteria produce vitamin K and B vitamins. You see, they produce vitamin K and some B vitamins. So the answer, the question, let's look at the question. Beneficial bacteria in the colon. Colon is small, large intestine. You see, colon is a part of large intestine. So beneficial bacteria in the colon are responsible for producing vitamin K and B vitamins. So this is the answer. It's a very important question. What vitamins are produced by bacteria in the colon? It's a vitamin B and K. Okay, so remember. What is the primary function of colon, the large intestine? Okay, it is to absorb water. Okay, it is to absorb water. 37. What is the role of bacteria? It is the production of vitamin K and B vitamins. It's a definite question. So learn it. It's easy. The role of bacteria in the large intestine is to produce vitamin K and B vitamins. Okay, so that's it. Now let's move on to page number 33. Page number 33. And in this, we are going to learn about calorie. You see, a very, very important question on this. First of all, what is nutrition? Nutrition is a process by which a person takes in and uses food. The process by which a person takes in and uses food is called as nutrition. Okay. And there are two terms that you should know. See, a calorie, you have, see, two terms. Calorie in capital, starting with uppercase C, that means capital C. And calorie, here it is starting with lowercase c, which means a small c. The capital C and a small c. You see, this is the difference. So what is calorie, which is starting with the uppercase C? See, it is a unit used to measure the energy content of food. The unit used to measure the energy content of food is called as calorie with uppercase. And then one capital C calorie, that means uppercase C calorie, is equal to 1 kilocalorie or 1000 calories. So remember this, I'm writing it here. 1 calorie is equal to 1000 calorie with lowercase. So remember this, okay? And then what is this calorie? The smaller case C calorie. This is the amount of heat needed to raise the temperature of 1 ml of water by 1 degree Celsius. Okay, so something related to the raising in temperature by 1 degree Celsius, you should understand that it is calorie, which is with small c, starting with small c. And capital C, it represents the unit used to measure energy. Okay, now let's see. Let's continue. So what is nutrition? Nutrition is the breaking down. Oh, sorry. What is nutrition? Nutrition means, I'll erase this off. Okay. What is nutrition? Nutrition means the breaking of the process of taking in and using food. This is called nutrition. What is a calorie with an uppercase? 1000 calories. Okay, 1 capital C calorie is equal to 1000 calories. A calorie is the heat needed. Okay, this is not capital C. This should be small c. So a calorie, a small simple c, is the heat needed to raise the temperature of 1 ml of water by 1 degree Celsius. If a student eats snack with 10 gram of fat, 20 gram of carbohydrate, how many calories are provided? Okay, let's see now. Now, what you have to do? You see that what is given here, 1 gram of fat is equal to 9 calories. 1 gram of carbohydrate is equal to 4 calories. 1 gram of protein is equal to 4 calories. This you need to memorize. Fat, 1 gram of fat gives 9 calories. 1 gram of carbohydrate gives 4 calories. 1 gram of protein gives 4 calories. Now let's see. So a student is eating a snack with 10 gram of fat and 20 gram of carbohydrate. So let's say, so this student is taking 10 gram of fat and 20 gram of carbs, 20 gram of carbohydrate. How many calories are provided? Now let's say fat. So 1 gram of fat gives how much? 9 calories. So what you have to do, multiply this 10 with 9. Multiply it by 9. And carbs, 1 gram of carb gives 4. So multiply this 20 with 4. So what's going to be there? 10 times 9 will give you 90. 20 times 4 will give you 80. So 0. And what is this? 170 calories is your answer. So make sure you memorize this. Fat gives 9 calories. Carbohydrate 1 gram gives 4 calories. And protein gives 4. This you need to memorize. They will not give you in the exam. Only they will give you the question and you should be solving it and finding the correct answer. Okay, so this is Question number 41. Now let's move on to page number 34. 34 and yeah, page number 34. Both of them are there on page number 34. Page number 34. So this is about carbohydrates and fats. Okay, so let's say, let me first zoom only to carbohydrates. We'll finish carbohydrates and then we'll go on with fats. Here we go. Yes. Okay, so what is yeah, you see the main thing is your body needs carbohydrate rich food, okay, like these every day. So what are those? You can see cereals, pasta, potatoes, strawberries, rice, all contain carbohydrate. And here you should remember that glucose, fructose, sucrose, these are simple carbohydrate, but complex carbohydrates are starch, okay, and you also have fiber. Where is that? Yes, yes, yeah. You see cellulose. Cellulose, dietary fiber is another example of complex carbohydrate found in the plant food. This is going to be important. Okay. See, I'm not saying this is important. Keep this in mind. There are some type of complex starch which are called cellulose. Cellulose. They are also called as fiber. Okay, what is the importance of fiber? Why fiber is useful? Fiber helps to keep the food moving through the digestive tract. Okay, it helps the food to move through the digestive tract and also helps with the elimination of wastes. So it's very important. Okay, remember, cellulose is a complex food, complex starch. And where it is found in plant stuffs. That is why you should be taking salad after, like during every meal. Salads contain plant, like they are mainly made up of plants food, and they contain a complex starch which is called as cellulose or fiber. Okay, don't forget, cellulose or fiber is important. Okay, now let's move on to the next one. Fats. Okay. In fat, what you need to study maximum will be this. You see here? Oil. This is oil, you see. The oils are sources of unsaturated fats. Okay. And the butter is a source of saturated fat. You see, this butter, this is saturated. And the oils become unsaturated. See, which is important for us? You need to take more amount of unsaturated fats because unsaturated fat, they are good, they have good cholesterol, good for your, it is not going to cause any harm, huh? Not much harm. So it's actually good fats. These two are good fats. These two are good cholesterol. They are made up of good cholesterol. But saturated fats like butter, they are actually bad for your body. For the health, it's bad because it will cause heart attack. Let's see here. It will be a, yes, let's go here. There are two types of fat, saturated and unsaturated. Saturated and unsaturated fat. See, plants are the main source of unsaturated fat. Okay. So here see, fats are unsaturated. The plants are the main source of unsaturated fat. A diet high in saturated fat might result in high blood levels of cholesterol, which may lead to heart problems. So remember, saturated fat may lead to heart problems. Unsaturated fat are not associated, you see, not associated with heart disease. Okay, so remember this, saturated fat is bad. It may cause heart problems, but unsaturated fats are good. It is not associated with heart diseases. The next thing that you need to know is, look at this. The saturated fats are solid at room temperature. You see, butter, it's solid at room temperature, whereas the unsaturated fats are liquid at room temperature. So unsaturated are liquid, saturated are solid. Okay. So remember, this is again another important thing. And what is the function of fat? The fat protects some internal organs and helps to maintain homeostasis. Okay, so it protects your internal organs and helps to maintain homeostasis. So this is the function of fat. Now let's look at some of the questions here. So saturated fats are solid. You know, saturated fat here is the butter. See, this is saturated fat, so they are solids. Which of the following is the difference between saturated and unsaturated fat? Saturated fat are solid at room temperature. Unsaturated are liquid. See, saturated fats are solid at room temperature. Unsaturated fats are liquid at room temperature. Yeah. So everything will be from the text. Okay, you need to learn that very well. What is the impact of a diet which is high in saturated fat on health? You see, if you take too much of animal fats, which is saturated fat, it may lead to high cholesterol and heart problems. What determines whether fat is saturated or unsaturated? What determines it? It is its chemical structure. Which are examples of simple carbohydrate? Glucose, fructose, and sucrose. Complex carbohydrates are macromolecules such as starch. Starch is complex. We saw starch and cellulose. Huh? So what happens? Where is the excess glucose stored? The glucose is stored in the liver as glycogen. Why? Why the excess glucose stored in the liver as glycogen? Why it is stored? Because it is for immediate use. Whenever you need it, you can use it. So that is why it is stored. Why is cellulose, the fiber, important for the digestive system? Why it is? It helps to move the food through the digestive tract and aids elimination and helps in elimination. Okay, so this is about this question. Yes, then now we have to go on to page number 36. So page number 36. So in page number 36, you need to learn some minerals and vitamins. You see here? What's given here? Vitamin D is made by the cells in your skin. So remember, this is one vitamin. And of course, we have already learned about vitamin K, which are produced by the bacteria in the large intestine. B vitamins and K vitamins are produced by the bacteria in the large intestine. Okay. What are vitamins? Vitamins are organic compounds that are needed in small amount. Organic compound needed in small amount for metabolic activities. Okay, next one. Minerals. Here in this, you have to learn two minerals. One is mineral iron and calcium. So what is the function of iron? Iron is useful needed for making hemoglobin. Iron is needed for making hemoglobin. Hemoglobin is the pigment which is found in the blood. Calcium. Calcium is important for bones. If you have less calcium, your bones will be very soft, it's brittle, it will break easily. So yeah, so from this page, what are the things that you need to study? You see key points. Vitamins are organic compounds needed in small quantity. Vitamin D is made in the skin cells. It helps in bones and teeth also, yeah. Iron is needed to make hemoglobin, and calcium is needed for healthy bones and teeth. Okay, So these are the like questions that you need to study from this particular chapter. Okay, guys. So this is the end of the revision of chapter 1. I hope it's clear. I want you to review it again and again, go through the video again, once again. Make sure you keep all these concepts in your mind. Okay. Again, I repeat, the question will not be the same. It will be different. They can ask anything from these concepts. So I want you to learn the concepts, even learn the key points I sent you through the WhatsApp. Okay. I sent you already. So learn it. So thank you. I think that will be the end of it. Thank you. Have a nice day.